Take it away. Your Jets.
Nick. As they say, it's getting late early in New York with Adam Gase and Sam Darnold. And after another subpar performance, we're a couple of weeks away till the end of the season. Where do the Jets and New York as a franchise go as Sam Darnold as the lead signal caller, man? What is it looking like over there? What's the tea leaves sounding like?
Oh man, let's just end the season. Call it quits. It was another tough game. Waking up every Monday morning knowing that you're 0 and something this week, 0 and 11, is difficult. And I know it's wearing on the players. And watching the game yesterday, there was still fight and there was still everything you wanted to see out of the team. But at no point did I feel like, hey, we have the opportunity, we're going to take it. And I think that's the disappointing part that we're sitting in, is that there really isn't, you go through a full 3.5 hours of a game and you don't have that sense of hope and sense of excitement that this is going to be the game that they turn around. So I need to feel that. I miss it. It sucks.
It does suck. I wish I could. Doesn't get any easier for us Jets fans, but there have been some minuscule bright spots when it comes to the secondary. Marcus May, a lot of it's very young, it's very inexperienced, but we've seen some things there. Are there any other bright spots for you? I know it's been hard for the Jets, but if you got any, give me some hope. Give me something to get excited about next year going forward.
Yeah. I think you're right. The secondary seems to be building. It's very young. They're coming together, which is exciting to see, especially Marcus May leading that charge. I think he's done a fantastic job, really stepping up, filling that void. Like I said, I think a couple weeks ago, Mekhi Becton is a bright spot for me. Watching him play, watching him be dominant is exciting, something you can build around. Having a rock at the left tackle for years to come will be a good thing. So, I think there are a couple of small bright spots. Unfortunately, it's not translating to wins, which right now in this rainy, dark Monday has us all searching for, the good that may or may not come.
Sort of a poetic start to the week with the weather. Okay, let's get off the Jets. We're going big picture league, Nick. So, I'm saying, shake it off. Are the Bucks broke? Is this the point of no return? I will admit that I was one of those people that thought the Saints game was a bit of an outlier. But we're talking about a team that's supposed to contend for a Super Bowl. The teams that are going to contend for a Super Bowl and the Chiefs have made them look very, very bad. Let's put it that way. Point of no return for the Bucks.
See, I can't say they have a point of no return because I feel like any time Tom has the opportunity, he can take it. However, he doesn't seem like the Tom of old. And so is the team strong enough to deal with issues where, he's throwing interceptions, where he's not on the same page as his receivers? And I think, there was one play that stood out the most for me. It was a hot route and I forget who the receiver was. But they did not connect, when Tom was trying to get rid of it. And you never saw that in New England. You never saw a disconnect of Tom and his receivers. So to see it now is not a good look.
Well, he is getting there in age too, man. And I guess Father Time is undefeated. So you got to go there. Speaking of which, though, the AFC playoff picture is really starting to take shape. And at the top of the class, the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers and the aforementioned Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions. If you had to pick a team going into the AFC to take it and probably end up in the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay in Raymond James Stadium, who do you got? Who are you looking at right now?
Well, I think Pittsburgh being undefeated has a nice ring to it, but you watch Kansas City and you see what they do. The way that Patrick Mahomes can play the game, the way their defense is playing, the options that he has on the outside between receivers. Travis Kelce is just dominating tight end position. It's tough to bet against Patrick Mahomes and those Chiefs. I think they have a great chance to win it again. Even though the Steelers are undefeated, I think the edge goes to Kansas City.
I think I'm gonna keep that edge of Kansas City too, man. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes with the ball in his hand, not at all. Monica, what you got?
It's super hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes and those guys. So rushing leader Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing yards at 1,257. He has 13 touchdowns. Only Dalvin Cook has one more touchdown than he does. So it brought us to the question, Nick, who's the best running back that you ever played with?
Ooh, now see, there's a good question because I played with some fantastic running backs. LaDainian Tomlinson, he's a Hall of Famer, fantastic running back. You had Thomas Jones, Sean Green. You throw in there Bilal Powell. I had some fantastic running backs, and I mean, when you go back to the runs that we had in 2009 and 2010, where we had the punch of Sean Green and Thomas Jones. Those running backs for me were fantastic, but I still am amazed every time I see Derrick Henry run. I mean, that dude is a beast. Watching him go, the way that he has the speed, he has the power. It's one of the most impressive. I want to just go meet him just so I can see how big he is, because you see him standing next to the lineman, and he looks like lineman height. And so it's awesome to watch him play. Huge.
Yeah, he's looking like Beast Mode 2.0, man.
Unfair advantage.
Unfair advantage completely. I'm terrified of that man. I would not want to see him on an open alley trying to tackle him. Speaking of running backs, the Cleveland Browns, man. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, that defense led by Myles Garrett, and I want to say the Browns led by Baker Mayfield, even though the running and the defense has been the anchor there. Nick, do you think the Browns are for real, man? 8-3 after such a disappointing season last year.
They look it. They look the part. They obviously have the record to back it up, and it's going to be interesting going down through this stretch. Are they able to keep it up? And I think with a good running game and a strong defense, any team could be dangerous. Hopefully, for their sake, they're not hitting their stride too early, because the playoffs are all about who gets hot when. And they're playing pretty hot right now. Can they keep that up? Can they keep that thing going through December into the playoffs? You'd rather see them get hot right at the beginning of the playoffs, but if they can keep it going. Who knows? Obviously, they're not going to get by Kansas City, so they'll have a good run, but it won't get that far. But it's exciting to see. It's good to see, the Browns, in Cleveland, our favorite mistake by the lake, doing well. And, I think it's good for football when teams that haven't been doing well, Jets, can get their act together and do well.
Hopefully. Oh.
If you guys, here's a moment of maybe a little silver lining. The Browns are one of those 0-16 teams just from their 2017 season, and then look at them now. So maybe good omen for the Jets potentially. Just give it a little time, maybe. No.
How much time you got, Mom?
Maybe.
How much time do you
Right.
got?
I do understand. Okay, let's get to. It's time for Coach 'em Up, Nick. Coach 'em Up presented by Honda. Big Monday night matchup tonight. The Eagles and the Seahawks. So the question is, how long do the Eagles stick with one Carson Wentz before we turn to the young stud in Jalen Hurts?
I saw the report out of Philadelphia that Jalen Hurts was getting some reps this week with the first team. And so I think Carson Wentz, even though he's got a contract that makes most people jealous, I think the leash is going to be short. Expectations are high in Philly. Philly, when you have somebody waiting in the wings and you're not getting a look at him, doesn't make the Philly fans, who are kind of angry to begin with, not that excited. So it's going to be interesting to see how long they wait. I don't think it's going to be long. I think, if Carson comes out slow, I think it's going to be Jalen's turn.